What's up, everyone? Been a minute here. Yeah, it hasn't really been a minute, actually. Try to get you an episode every week. But what it has been a minute on is talking about watches. Now, on my Instagram, I was putting up a lot of watches, attended watch shows, started getting into horology and figuring out more about timepieces and what they're about. Now, just to specify, I am not a watch aficionado. I do not know a ton about watches, time, movement, styles, generations, designers, but I am a watch enthusiast. I really enjoy having a watch on my wrist. It feels like I'm missing a part of my day if I don't put something on my wrist to start. Now, that could be an Apple Watch if you're into digital. It could be a Timex if you just like something easy that you can beat up, like a G-Shock, whatever it may be. Watches are a statement piece, but also really functional. I have enjoyed wearing one over the past because it allows me to pull my phone out of my pocket less and look at it, which then sucks me into a hole on Instagram, on YouTube, in my emails, anything. If I'm just trying to be present with some people I'm with or with myself while I'm just walking, cruising, driving, I can just look at the time. So old school feature, I really like it. And also my friend Michael Friedman had a very good point. He works for Audemars Piguet. He's the head of complications and also their in-house time historian, and a very important time historian. I asked him what he thought about the Apple Watch when it was first coming out, and he said, you know what, we're really excited about it because it's bringing attention back to the wrist. Now, what he meant by that is everyone stopped wearing watches and just looked at their phones because phone has the time on it, which made sense. But that Apple Watch brought kids back, people back to wrist functionality and using the wrist as a vehicle to get information. People who are younger, who weren't even into wristwatches, would then hopefully look at something designed by Rolex or Audemars or someone and say, wow, that's beautiful. What's that? Tell me about it. So that was a really positive kind of response to an evolving industry and something that could have wiped out classic wristwatches or given them a back seat, which is constantly an ongoing battle, but a really good positive outlook. So I appreciate that. That's my little story I'm sharing with you. What you guys have been asking for a long time is a watch review of what I have. I own all of these. How I've acquired them depends. Some have been gifts through brands. Some have been purchased by me. Some have been gifts from my wife, gifts from friends. Watches are something you can grow old with, no matter if it's expensive or not. It can become a piece that you are proud of, meant something to you, means something to you, and goes through a lot of different stages in your life with you. It can become a family heirloom if you want it to be. It can become an important piece for you if you want it to be. It can be disposable if you want it to be. It's what you make it, much as anything is. But that being said, I do have something special for you in this video, so stay tuned. There's a bit of an amazing thing happening here. More on that to come. But let's get right into it. So I didn't really know where to start. I'm not going to go from low to high. I'm not going to go from high to low. I'm not going to go from important to less. Each one of these watches has meaning to me, just represents something different. So let's start. So this is my daily go-to. It's a 1989 Rolex Submariner. It's the model 16,800. I only know that because I took it to get serviced, which I'll tell you why in a second. But when they told me about the model, for 6 or 8 months during 1989, they used a different metal. So the Explorers are classically called the 1680 in this era, and they put another zero on the end, so it became a 16,800, thus making it a more specific watch, a little harder to find. It's the first real watch, quote unquote, I've ever received or had, and it was passed down to me. And I think it's a super interesting thing to get a watch passed down to you as your first nice watch, or something that was meaningful to your grandfather, your dad. I hope to pass this down to our child, possibly when they graduate high school or college, just as something nice that they can remember me by, hopefully be proud to wear. And I think that's a really nice kind of thing to fall into. When my wife and I got engaged, after I proposed to her, we met up with a friend of mine in Miami for dinner, and he presented me with this watch as a gift. And I was like, man, it's enough to have dinner with you. I'm excited enough to do this. I love you so much. He's one of my best friends. And he's like, listen, I'm downgrading, I'm simplifying my life. All these things that were material no longer really mean much to me, and I want to give them to really good friends of mine to represent our relationship. Hannah looked at him like he was crazy. I got her a ring. She hadn't, purchased anything for me, not that she needs to, but hadn't got me a gift for proposing, because it's not what you do. So she was just kind of like, what is happening? So anyway, he gave me this watch. I tried to give it back to him. I was like, man, I'm not interested, thank you so much. And he's like, take it. And I was like, no, take it. No, it was back and forth. And then he's like, if you don't take it, I'm going to put it on the floor and step on it, which is obviously an obnoxious sentence. So I was like, you know what? I've never had a Rolex. Like, let me hold on to that for a second, with the notion that I will give it back to him. So I tried to set the time under the table while we were having dinner. It didn't really work. And then by the time I got back to New York, that was in Miami, I tried to set the time again and was like, this thing's broken. So I took it into Rolex, and sure enough, Rolex, great experience, by the way, just classic men's. I've never been there. I had never been there. But like brown leather couches, GQ and Esquire magazines, white glove service. This really make it feel special. It was kind of a cool moment for me. And they came out and said, yes, Mr. Fallis, your watch the motor's completely seized. Someone put non-Rolex glass on it, went swimming, and it's completely corroded and seized. So you have to replace that. Which I asked how much it costs. A fair penny, not cheap at all. A gift is a gift, and it comes with a price, but then you feel like you earn it. So it was a little better set with me because I paid something towards it. I wasn't looking to take something like this as a gift from someone who's not family, although they are family, but quote unquote, just a best friend. Anyway, so fixed it, asked how much it would be if I got it back. They polished it once, got it back to where it is, and replaced the two hands. And now they said it would be about, just under 10 grand. $3,500 investment. It got me maybe a $8,000 to $9,000 watch. It was a good start. Pretty happy about it. I like a deal. I like thinking at least I contributed to something. Not that I'm just getting things for free. If I can, provide work or connection, something, at least you feel like you earned it a little bit. So this was nice. It's still just on my wrist. He still says it's yours and compliments it all the time. After I told him that story, he was obviously super upset it was seized, but whatever, longest story I'll tell you about this watch, but it is my daily go-to. It's a solid watch. I've put it through the ringer and back, still looking great, kind of getting amazing patina on it and beat up as it goes, and looks really good. So that's my sub. That's my daily go-to, but I try and mix it up with all the others. So let me take that one off and talk to you about the other ones. Next watch I have, so there's 8 watches, just so you know how many we're gonna go through, but again, that's the longest story. This next one is, and I keep this little roll bag from this company called Panzera, really cool watch company from Australia. They provided me with this little carrying case for traveling, which has been really nice. So this is the Zenith Defy. I think it's the 49.9 thousand. It is a open work skeleton watch. It's a really beautiful watch. It's super sporty. It's got a black ceramic case. It's a really small case size, so not overly large, sits on the wrist very nicely. And it's a beautiful watch. Rubber strap, super easy clip at the back, great for anything active. You can get really in the water with this. You can sweat in this. You can do a lot. Beautiful open work case, automatic watch on the back. I'll show that in more detail. Ooh, a little salt water on this guy. I gotta clean it up. Sorry about that. I did a paid activation with Zenith where I DJ'd an event at Watches of Switzerland in Soho in New York City, and they put a watch on my wrist. A lot of these events you end up DJing, they want a watch on your wrist while you're working with your hands, they video, they take a photo, just kind of a promotional thing, but they really enjoyed the job I did, so they decided to gift me a watch as part of the thank you, which is a beautiful gift. Obviously very thankful to receive things like this, and a super nice gift that I'm excited about now to have this in my collection. My first Zenith piece. There's a couple others I'm eyeing as well right now. I'll leave those to your imagination and tell you about those if I acquire them, but working on it. Thank you to the people at Zenith. Very happy to own this. Very nice watch. The next one is from Panzera. As I mentioned, this case, super convenient, is from Panzera. They're a really cool Australian company making bigger dive watches. Well, this one is anyway, but they have a lot of really cool watches. Let me just put this on first. They call this watch the Aquamarine Pacific Strike 45. As you can see, it's a bigger case setting. It's on a NATO strap. Now, a NATO strap is a pretty cool feature. This is a classic military strap. Why they called them NATO straps, I don't exactly know, but what I do know about the NATO strap is they say that if you pulled one thread, it would unattach completely and run the length, and you can use it for things in a military setting. So will we ever use that? I would assume no, unless you've got some James Bond style life going on, which I don't know about. Just a beautiful black matte finish, a flat sapphire crystal at the front, which is super protective. I just think it's a beautiful, simplistic watch and done really well. It's tough to find a good watch at a good price point these days. Obviously, these ones, you're just in under 10 grand. This is about 5. This watch, I've been wearing a bunch. People have asked me about it more times than I would have expected, so compliment to the watchmakers for that. I'm gonna give one of these away today, which I'm really excited about, because I don't wanna just sit here talking about watches. I'd rather help you out and give you guys a watch. You guys should also be on the receiving end of this, and I think that's really cool. So shout out to Panzera for not only putting this beautiful watch on my wrist, but working with me to give you guys a watch, which I think is a really cool idea, and I'm happy they were open to it. I'm gonna leave instructions right at the end after I get through all these watches on how you can have one of these on your wrist. And if you don't win, I'm gonna give you a discount code anyway. So stay tuned for that. That's gonna be at the end of this video for the instructions. So let's move on. Again, the Panzera. Now, this next watch is, I don't know if it's flashiest, but gold is just flashy. Rose gold, even flashier. This is a rare hard watch to find, which I think is also really cool. It's in phenomenal shape, and it is a Rolex Day-Date. I don't know how to explain it. There's just something about the classicness of this watch that is kind of unbeatable. Now, this watch is super hard to find. It's from the 70s. Again, I haven't serviced it yet. I bought it used from a dealer, and I don't know what year it is exactly, but I will get it serviced one day when it needs it, and I'll find out more about it. But I was born in the 70s, 79. Shout out to all you other 79 people out there. And I saw this, it was my 38th birthday was coming up, and I'd had a pretty nice year of work, and I wanted to just congratulate myself and get something that means something to me, that it will retain value, go up in value. So it's an investment and an asset. I thought this was a really cool gift. I saw it. I'd wanted a gold watch for a while, a rose gold one, because my wife got me this beautiful wedding band. I thought it would be nice to have something that went alongside, so you weren't breaking up with silver in moments you wanted to. But I also wanted something that would retain value, gain value, and something I could put my money somewhere that it would do well. Because a lot of the times, you know, you have some savings. Obviously, I invest my savings in all sorts of things in my IRA and my retirement accounts, and put things in stable growth accounts. But watches grow as well. This is a collection, an investment. If you do your research, you can do well with an investment. You can also lose money fast, just like anything, stock market, buying art that you don't know anything about. So do your research, figure out what's up. But to me, this was really cool. It represents a year of my life where I had a couple very notable things happen, which I will never forget. It makes me happy to wear it. It's also hard to find. You can't find the rose gold with the black face. It's extremely tough. You might see 1 or 2 a year. I just looked it up before this. There was one for auction on First Dibs. That's no longer available, but that has a really black face. This has kind of a slate gray face. You can find them, but a lot of the times they have Spanish days on them. It's very tough to find English days. I don't know how many they made. I don't know much more about this watch. I just know it's beautiful, and the band was in phenomenal shape, very little play, and it's a stunning watch. This makes me really happy, so shout out to my guys at Material Good who helped me source this. Next, we're gonna talk about this watch. This is just a fun, sporty watch, super low key, but Seiko is an amazing brand. I ended up DJing an event for them. They were launching this watch. They had all these skateboarders there on a half pipe, these break dancers. So this is the Seiko 5. As you can see, they've got a little, what looks like an S, but it's actually a 5 under there. It is an automatic watch, manual winding capability. It's got the dive feature, comes on the Nato strap, and that's about it. Super easy, functional watch. I really like it. You can dress it down, be super active with it. It's a good watch to take on trips because it doesn't really stick out in public too much, but these are a smaller edition. They didn't release a lot of them, so it's a nice watch to have, super easy and super affordable. This one will be with me for a while because you can just wear it wherever, whenever. Next watch to go into is also a favorite. I mean, you're probably getting sick of me saying that at this point. Every one of them is a favorite for me. But this is one I'd coveted for a while. Something I'd seen on everyone's wrist. I was at a watch show in Switzerland called SIHH, put on by the FHH, so many letters. But a super important and very cool watch show, which got me deeper into the watch world because obviously I was there being toured around to IWC, to AP, to Rolex, to Zenith, everyone, seeing all their watch models for next year. It's kind of like a trade show for buyers, so you're able to see everything. Again, my friend Michael Friedman, who's with Audemars, was showing a new watch which was titanium and stainless steel that was the thinnest AP ever made, not this one. And I was like in this crazy watch zone thinking, I should get this, it's super limited, it'll go up in value, blah, blah. And I was like really close to buying it. And then I realized I don't have this kind of money. What am I doing? I'm just stuck in this mindset with all these people. I got to be smarter. So I kind of stepped out of myself, was like, it's cool. You could be around Ferraris all day and think you could suddenly afford one by just making small payments here and there. Can you or can't you? It's a real decision. So that was an important time for me of reflection that like, it's cool to want things, it's cool to desire them and work towards them, but there's also a reality behind if you can have them or not. So I ended up doing a deal, coming up on some cash, and wanted to invest it, again, similar to this one for my birthday, the Rose Gold Day-Date. I thought it would be really cool to have an AP since I love the brand so much, and I think this is one of the most important designs of our generation, which a lot of people would also say, the Royal Oak. The Royal Oak kind of set a new precedent in watchmaking and just one of the most popular designs amongst those who know the watch industry. It's a bigger watch for me. The Panzera is close in size. It's the same case size. It's a little thicker, but it kind of sits smaller due to the colorway. This watch is a lot on your wrist. It tends to stick out a lot. It's the 15,500. It's fully automatic. It's got incredible details in the back. It's the most classic version they make of it with the black face, but very difficult to find. If you can find it and you can afford it, you should grab it. But it is a beautiful piece. It sits really nicely on your wrist. It was big at the start for me, but I've gotten used to it. I used to think it felt like it sat so high, but it sits really nicely. It's definitely a statement piece. Definitely has an incredible weight on it. It was a great investment for me. I'm really happy about it. Again, thanks to my guys at Material Good. If you haven't been there in Soho, you should go, but buyer beware. It is a dangerous place to be. You might leave there something that you don't need or you did need. I went in there a lot and these guys took care of me and got me this piece, which I'm super excited about. That is a good piece. I don't wear it a lot, but it's an important one. This next one is with this company called Bamford. It's my friends at this company, Good Life. You might see me, I wear Good Life tees more than any other tee. I wear their shorts, I wear their long sleeves, I wear their crew necks. My friend who runs Good Life is an amazing guy. We might be distant cousins, not really sure, but my mom's maiden name is his last name, long story. Anyway, these guys collaborated with Bamford. Bamford is a company out of London. as you can see. They collaborated with Good Life. They made kind of a really fun pop watch, just something if you want to have a little more color on your wrist. You can switch out the band colors. It comes with black bands or white bands. You can have the white case, you can get the black case, you can have yellow, blue, and pink hands. So this is just a fun watch, affordable, a couple $100, super easy. Tougher to get, limited edition, but if you can find one, easy watch. And that leads me to my last watch, which is probably right here, my most important watch, because it was a gift from my wife on our wedding day. It's an important moment that signifies probably the most important day in my life, hopefully in our lives, until we have this baby, which is coming. But this is a really cool present. So I believe this model is called the Calatrava. It's from 1967. It came from a very well-respected authorized dealer. It's a very small case size, so it's really classy. It's on a beautiful brown leather band, which is not the original, but it suits it super well, and it's just such a classy piece. It's great with a suit. It's great with classic button up. It's just a manual watch. It's not automatic, but it sits super nicely on the wrist and is a beautiful piece. I'm lucky to own it. I'm lucky to be married to this woman and lucky to have someone who knows me so well that this would mean a lot to me as a sentimental gift, which again will become a family heirloom, something we probably pass down at some point, but it's a super nice piece. How much is it? I don't know. I didn't ask. Not interested. It's actually priceless to me, and that's the most important part. So that is my collection. I'm super happy about it. It's slowly growing. Does it have to grow anymore? Probably not. Will it? It might. Again, these are investments for me, and they also mean something. So for me, it's a good place to extend my love for something. But more importantly, to wrap this up, as mentioned earlier, we're gonna talk giveaway. Because again, I wanna give you guys something back for being subscribers, for following me, for paying attention and getting through these videos. I know sometimes I'm a little long-winded. It might take you a long time to get to the end, or you just fast forward, whatever you do. But I'm gonna give you one of these, and here's how you're gonna do it. So first of all, before the giveaway, if you just wanna buy one of these, or you really like them, which you should just own one of these, you can go to panzera.shop and grab one and use my code Brendan10 to get 10% off. We'll put the code right here and the website so you know where to go. That's how you get 10 off. They'll ship anywhere in the world. Secondly, if you want to enter the giveaway, which I highly suggest you do, here are the steps. One, you're going to go to my Instagram page, Brendan Fallis. On Instagram, you're going to make sure you're following me, and then you're going to make sure you're following panzera.watches. That's their account, Panzara. Follow them, and then you're going to comment and tag a friend. Tag someone else who you know would want to win this watch as well. And that's all you got to do. Then you're just entered into it. It's pretty easy, and this could end up at your door. They'll deliver it anywhere in the world, wherever you are, and I'll announce the winner on my Instagram. I'll tag you. If you don't write me back, I'll send you a message to remind you that you won. If you don't write me back, then I'm gonna choose another winner in under 24 hours. So pay attention. You know the instructions. I'm not gonna repeat them again, but I'll leave them in the comments, and then get over to my page, check it out, get yourself this watch. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. I hope you enter to win. I'm happy to give you guys something back. Thank you so much for always being supportive, always being subscribers. And if you like watches, build up your collection. It could end up being a lot more than you think one day in the future. But until then, enjoy.